Okay, so now they're accusing my sister of wanting to invade Australia.
You are a natural born public speaker, and that's a fact.
Do you actually feel guilty or were you just told to feel guilty?
Focus on actually what we can do.
Point it out and show it to me.
You have the freedom to do what you want to and be what you want to in America.
What are we going to do about it?
What oppressed me?
Just saying.
So the CRT stuff, BS.
All right, so you guys need to hear this. I mean, if you don't know by now that the powers that are at B that rules over the airwaves and all that, it's kind of interesting, though, you know, how the Bible refers to the enemy, the devil, Satan, as the prince and the power of the air. You know what I mean? And we call this the airways, media and all that. This is ridiculous, knowing good and well. Y'all don't think that Candace is not smart enough to not say anything stupid like that. But you know what? My sister really doesn't need me to explain it for her. But at the same time, I just want to show my support. And not just Candace Owens, but it's anybody that's standing up for truth. Anybody that's standing up for righteousness. I'm going to back them up 100%. Especially when speaking out against evil. And now you starting to hear different words flow out of various people's mouths when it comes to us standing up for truth and righteousness. Notice what we're calling them. So pay close attention in here what Candace Owens says in regards to the reasons why they're doing it. You're going to hear things like satanic and evil. I told you guys that's what it's going to all come down to. I'm going to keep on saying this. The devil, the enemy, does not care whether you believe in it or not. Evil is from evil spirits. Evil is from evil spirits that are working with men, evil angels, fallen angels. I'm just telling you what the stuff is, flat out. You don't have to believe me. You can call me hocus pocus. You can say what you want to. I do not care. I know what it is that I'm warring against. She know what it is that she's warring against, right? A lot of us are ABL, Brandon Tatum, the Hodge twins, Ben Shapiro. There's a lot of people out there that's calling this stuff out for what exactly it is, and it's flat out evil. So watch how they try to come at her with this ridiculousness of what they claim she tried to do. But let her explain it, all right? Here y'all go.
Okay, I was not expecting to do a live today. I really wasn't. Supposed to be having a nice day. I'm in the UK. It's too early to do a live if you're in America, but I'm so fired up right now. I'm so angry. And genuinely, if you're watching this live, I want you to find someone who hates me. I want you to find someone who thinks, I don't believe in Candace Owens. I think she's a liar. I don't trust her, anything she says. I want you to find that person because this is such a good example for them to potentially awaken themselves to the truth, which is that we are all living in a society in which journalists lie, they create division, they decide who they want to be the heroes and who they want to be the villains, and they unapologetically lie about what actually took place because they hate someone, and they actually lie the most viciously. Whenever you see the journalist taking off about a story and they're going absolutely nuts and it's a political story, you can almost guarantee yourself that they're lying to cover the truth, right? I can't even actually believe this story, so I want you guys to look it up. I want you to watch it live because this is such a learning exercise because I don't care how much you think you hate Candace Owens. You cannot just completely put yourself into the dark and remain this ignorant. There is a global awakening happening in this moment, okay? The entire world right now is awakening to the fact that a very small population of the world actually controls everything. The first thing that they control is the media. The media lies. They work for the states, meaning like there's a globalist agenda. So clearly the journalists lie. They work for them. They are bankrolled by these people. Their job is to lie and to delude you about the truth. They don't want you to know what's going on. They don't want you to know how tyrannical they are. They don't want you to know that they constantly want you in a state of fear. I spoke about this the other day. I spoke at 2 churches last week, and I was saying that fear is the mechanism by which evil can control you, right? So if you are constantly in fear and they're constantly making you fearful, it's because it's low energy. It's a low energy vibe. And they know that once you're fearful, they can control you. Like we saw that it's exercising COVID. All they wanted was for people to be completely in a state of fear, paralyzed by fear, so that they couldn't do anything but pray to the government for deliverance, right? And that's what happened. We see people that are still living a COVID-19 psychosis that is inexplicable. But forget all that because I want to tell you this story so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Obviously, you guys know that I have a show on the Daily Wire. Very proud of it, Candace. I write the entire show. Every piece of me goes into the show because I just want people to know what's going on all around the world. And I write my own monologues and I get interested in various topics. And last week, I wanted to do an entire episode dedicated to Australia because my husband has family in Australia and we do not have the same political beliefs. And they essentially sent us a very long text message talking about what is happening in Australia. If you do not know what is happening in Australia, you need to look it up. Actually, you need to watch my monologue. I'm going to share the monologue after this. I might post it on my main Instagram page. I'll definitely at least post a link to it so you can watch it on the Daily Wire show or watch it on YouTube. And I basically just talked about, verbatim, read her text messages about what is going on in Australia. Like, these people are not allowed to leave their state. So imagine America, if you live in Connecticut and you're not allowed to travel to New Jersey without applying for permission to travel to New Jersey from the state. Imagine if you live in Connecticut and your cousin dies in New Jersey and you're not allowed to go to your cousin's funeral because you have to apply for permission from the state. Imagine if your family member died and you're not allowed to have more than 5 to 10 people at the funeral unless, period, right? And you're not even allowed to host that funeral unless you apply for permission from the state. There are people that are locked outside, again, Australia, locked outside of their own states because they're not allowed to go back into their homes unless they get the vaccine. It is a complete and utter police state. It's completely tyrannical, it's totalitarian, and I wanted to make sure Americans were aware of it because what happens in Australia can happen here. Do not think that we are special. I hope you realize that we are not special after everything that happened during COVID. The only thing that really makes us unique is that we have state powers, and so despite the Biden administration trying so hard to implement what's happening in Australia here, we have this little thing called the Constitution, which is getting in their way, right? We have this little thing which allows the states to actually say, you know what, we're not actually going to be doing that. Thank God for DeSantis. Thank God for Texas and Governor Abbott, which are finally standing up to this administration. More states as well, by the way, South Dakota, and saying we are not going to be enforcing these radical policies here. But if we did not have that little thing called the Constitution, we would be literally living like people in Australia. Okay? So I dedicate a monologue to making sure Americans are aware of what is happening in Australia. And I verbatim read exactly what they were telling me are the rules. All true. And I was particularly talking about what's happening in Queensland. And at the end of the monologue, I said, I'm going to share it, so you're going to watch it. It's going to be sort of out of context. But I said, when do we invade Australia? And then I said, I say that, of course, in jest. That was a joke. That sentence was a joke. Well, I've been trending on Twitter for the last 48 hours because The Guardian has run a headline saying that Candace Owens suggests that the U.S. should invade Australia. Completely stripped, did not even add the sentence, I say that, of course, in jest, removed from its entire context. Like, actually, if you hate me, you need to watch this monologue I'm going to drop because it is very clear I'm joking because I actually say, I say that, of course, in jest, right? But The Guardian, the monologue took off. Everyone is sharing it in Australia. It's going viral. So they instantly said, we need to lie because we don't want people to read. We don't want people to watch this monologue. We don't want people to read the article about the monologue. We need to lie. We need to get in front of the truth with a very big lie. And it's going to sound radical to run the headline that Candace suggests that we should invade Australia and strip it of its meaningful context because we know that people are not going to read. They're not going to watch the monologue. They're just going to read the headline. And the headline's going to say, Candace Owens, U.S. far-right pundit says that we should invade Australia, which is like, it is just, I can't even say it's a sin because it's beyond a sin. It's something else that we're dealing with here. It's evil, right? It's a sin. A sin is a bad thing, right? What the journalists are doing all around the world is an evil thing. It is satanic. It is evil. We do not want people to be awake to the truth. So all we need to do is make the lie bigger than the truth. And the majority of people are really stupid. This is their idea. They're not smart enough to read anything beyond a headline. This is their idea. We make sure of that because we have polluted the education system. We're brainwashing them in the school. If you think that this is like what's happening in America is unique with the education system, it's not. It's happened before. History does nothing but repeat itself, okay? Hitler youth, Stalin youth, the communist youth. They want to make sure that the kids are raised up in a way that they will become puppets for the totalitarian regime, that is running the state, right? They want to make sure that these kids become puppets for the state. And that is happening right now in America, probably not just America, right? Where these kids are learning nothing, they're becoming dumber and dumber and dumber, and they don't focus anymore, right? We're in the age of social media. Yes, I appreciate the irony. I'm on social media, but in the meaning that most kids cannot sit down and read a full book. They can't, right? So they're obsessed with very quick headlines. Social media has taught them learn information very fast. Learn information very quick. So they read a headline and it says Candace Owens suggests we should invade Australia. And they go, well, that must be true. I can't believe, how could you support Candace Owens? She thinks that you should invade Australia. She is suggesting that we should buckle up and we should kill the Australians. How could you possibly support radical Candace Owens? Well, of course, the kids didn't even click through the article. They just read the headline. They saw the trend on Twitter. They clicked the trend on Twitter and they saw it. And they now know who Candace Owens is because they couldn't be bothered to actually watch the monologue, which is very hard-hitting, so hard-hitting that the actually educated people, right, the people who actually are fearful of an awakening, the powers that be, per se, right, they said, this is a very powerful monologue. We need to make sure nobody pursues this monologue. And so we need to get out in front of the monologue and we need to tell a lie that is bigger than the truth that exists in the monologue. That is happening right now. I am trending right now over something that I said. Of course, I said it. I said, when do we invade Australia? I say that, of course, in jest. But the jest part's not there. So right now, you are going to have an exercise in what it takes for a lie to make its way around the world, from America to Australia, before the truth gets up and puts its shoes on, as my granddad used to say, right? A lie will make its way around the world so fast before people even appreciate, even begin to fathom the truth. And the truth is that I told the truth to the world about what's happening in Australia because it freaking matters. Do not want to curse. It matters. It matters because it could happen here. It could matter. When I say here, I'm not just referring to the United Kingdom. I'm referring also to America. It can happen anywhere, okay? And you need to watch this monologue and you need to see the truth before you allow The Guardian, who I am going to have my lawyers send a letter to, because The Guardian is actually based in the UK and the UK has very strong libel laws. You can't just lie like that in the UK. And I want a full retraction to pretend that I was not joking when I quite literally said, I say that in jest, is demonic, it's satanic. It is the reason that this world is so divided. It is the reason why everywhere in the world people are being impoverished and imprisoned by their governments who have launched a war against their own people. It is an information war. They're lying to you about what is happening everywhere. They're lying to you about your own body, right? You don't even trust your own body anymore. People are afraid when someone sneezes, okay? Because the government has launched a war, a propaganda war, a psychological war against its own people. Because fear gives them more power. That's the truth. That is the truth. Fear gives them more power. And I have been talking about this for weeks on my show. I know most of you guys are subscribed to it. That's why you follow me. If you're not subscribed to it, you need to subscribe to it. And I told the Daily Wire to create a code to do a discount for Australians. If you log on and you subscribe to the Daily Wire, you can use a discount code Free Australia, or you can use discount code Down Under when you subscribe, and you can watch the monologue and all of my monologues for free. And they're amazing. They're great because I tell the truth. And it's so easy and great and amazing to just simply tell the truth. It shouldn't be that easy. Like it shouldn't be considered that amazing to tell the truth, but it is nowadays because we exist in a culture of lies. And I will never apologize for it. I have fought tooth and nail to retain my character, to say the truth in the face of overwhelming lies. I just needed to log on and rant about this Guardian piece. You guys, I'm going to drop the monologue, pieces of it on here so that you can watch it. Again, you can subscribe, use the discount code Down Under or discount code Free Australia, and watch the monologue because these people are being imprisoned. The Guardian is a lie. We are all being lied to. There is a small group of people that are working together, trying to globalize the world, and they can only be successful if you are fearful. They will only find success. They will only actually be able to take over the world because it feels like this is like the Antichrist, honestly, right? If you are fearful, if you're so fearful that you refuse to stand up to them. I refuse to be a victim of a globalist agenda. I refuse to keep my mouth shut. I refuse to not tell you exactly what is going on. I am not afraid of Bill Gates. I'm not afraid of Dr. Fauci. I'm not afraid of COVID. I'm proudly unvaxxed. I am proudly, using my platform to talk about the fact that you can do what you want with your own body, but I want you to have bodily autonomy. I trust you as an individual to make the right decision. Do not live in fear. They feast off of it, okay? They sit around and they say, how can we make them more scared? And they feast off of your fear. It is everything to them. It is their appetizer. It is their breakfast. It is their lunch. It is their dinner. It is their dessert. Stop living in fear. Stand up to these tyrannical, rabid individuals that are controlling the press, and they are controlling you. That is where I'm going to wrap it, okay? Again, I will put it all the details in. Use the code down under. Use the code for Australia. If you're in Australia, thank you guys so much for giving me the information. I know we went out to you and said, send us a video of what's going on. We watched all the videos and we got inundated with them, and we brought you that episode. I think probably next week we're going to look into Germany and the Querdenker movement. Like, we want to cover things globally so that you understand these people are evil and they have too much power. God bless you all. dailywire.com/subscribe, code free Australia, code down under, and you will get a steep discount. Watch it now. Love you guys. Bye.
What is going on, folks? Appreciate you guys watching. Do me a favor, if you're trying to get to the next reaction video that I did after this video, it's right here. But if you're trying to get to my own personal stuff where I do a lot of comedy things that make you laugh, can help brighten your day, then you click right here, all right? And if you want to subscribe to this channel, you forgot to get to know who I am first, all right? Then you're going to click right here to lead you into the subscription. Make sure you hit the bell notifications to get notified anytime I post a video, all right? Peace.